You are now listening to the Hot Take Hotbox. Welcome to the Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hotbox. Welcome to the Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hotbox.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast. I believe this is episode 133 of this glorious and illustrious podcast. I can't believe we are that far into this, but we are here to talk about UFC Singapore, ladies and gentlemen. And God bless you if you woke up at 5 a.m. to watch it with me. I know Ty.
I know you did.
I was going to say, I know Ty did not make all of the fights on time, but it was tough for us over here on the East Coast. Now I feel the pain of you people overseas, because that was it was difficult to bounce back to my day after I woke up actually at 5 a.m. on a nice little 4-hour sleep situation and rolled it right in and watched the whole show. I enjoyed it. I am joined by Ty Capone again. This is Shoulder Strikes MMA Podcast, brought to you by the Hot Take Hotbox. Ty, how are you feeling? You're in a little bit of a crisis. Well, not a big crisis, but a minor crisis down there in the old Sunshine State.
Yeah, we got hurricanes coming in. Who knows what else is coming after that? We got my birthday coming up this weekend. Let's go. Turning the big 2-1. Can't wait. Yeah, we got a fantasy draft tomorrow. I'm excited about that. And then we have like 3 of them next week, back to back, which I forgot about. So things are getting hectic. September's starting to pick up. Football's back. I know everybody is excited. I know you are. The Eagles still don't have a punter, so that's fun. But I'm ready. I'm ready to get it cracking. I think the UFC's, got some filler cards. 293, I don't know if you've seen that, but not looking good.
This seems like a lot of cards that are just going to be not something you schedule your day around. If you happen to have something going on at the time, it's like, all right, I'll get back to that when I get the chance. But by the way, people who are on here are going to think you're actually 21. They're going to be like, dude, what?
Yeah.
Be like, very confused that you just turned 21. But
the big 2-8 is what I actually am turning.
But listen, ladies and gentlemen, we got a big card. A big old card to talk about. Maybe not the most exciting one, but there's 13 fights that we can go over, and we are going to start with the Korean Zombie and his retirement. Zombie, everyone's singing it on the way out, but that started off with them walking to the octagon, getting in there. Max Holloway knocks him out in the very beginning of the 3rd round. Zombie kind of said, you know what, fuck this, I'm going out on my shield, and tried to just start throwing absolute bombs back Max Holloway's way. This fight was very, I'd say, entertaining. It was, a typical Max Holloway fight, and Korean Zombie, you can tell his chin has kind of it's been weathered a little bit, and he can't really take the same shots that he used to, because he was getting hit hard, but he was wobbled in the 1st round, then he literally got dropped down to his knee, and then he rolled over. He looked like he was done in the 2nd round. Max Holloway was like, wait, is it over? But then it wasn't, and then the 3rd round came, weird. And he cooked him, and he knocked him out. Max Holloway cashes out that TKO for us, but what did you make of that?
Yeah, Korean Zombie was doing decent work in the 1st round. 2nd round, he definitely slowed down. That's when he got knocked down. He got knocked down twice. He's been knocked down 7 times now in his UFC career. Pretty fat number. But yeah, he tried. He tried his best. He's just, he has nothing for Max. And it was very hard for him to, get anything going. He did hit him a couple times, and I think the commentators are kind of overblew. Thank you, Michael Bisping, for doing the most, as always. But, yeah, man, Max Holloway just unleashed that big right hook and just face-planted him pretty much, right? I don't know if he face-planted him, but he knocked him out. And then they both had great walkouts also. And then Max going right to his family, going to his wife afterwards, obviously fighting with a heavy heart. I don't know how much training he's been doing, how focused he is with everything that's going on in Hawaii, which obviously, is very understandable, but he didn't look like he slowed down at all. He didn't look like he had anything on his mind or anything bothering him. And he took care of TKZ like he said he would. I'm pretty sure he predicted he was going to finish him, because when's the last finish? They said, was it Cub Swanson? No, I don't think that's right. It's been a long Ortega, yeah. So the last time he finished somebody was Ortega. Before that was Mr. Jose Aldo, and that was 5 years ago. That's crazy. The Ortega fight was 5 fucking years ago. I can't believe that. But yeah, he showed out. He got his $50K. Hopefully, all or most of that. I'm sure a lot of it, all of it, and more money is going to go to Hawaii, thankfully. So yeah, there's not really anything else to talk about. I'm surprised it went a little. I'm surprised he didn't finish him in the second, but he went for that. Was it Darce?
Yeah,
and
that would suck.
Yeah, that would have been terrible for him to get like a plus 1,500 sub. I'm trying to think of the last time he got a sub. I think, it was Cub Swanson. He guillotined him. Same thing he did to Andre Touchy-Feely. So, yeah, that would have been perfect in the sense of what was supposed to happen, what should have happened, what was going to happen, did not happen, and we suffer the consequences of it. Obviously, we get fucked like that a lot.
Yeah.
But lately, we've had pretty good luck, I want to say, honestly. I think, guys are submitting. RoboCop, a bit different, but we took a shot nonetheless. But yeah, good performance from Max. Not sure what else is, what's next for him or what even they can do, but why not?
I mean, it's basically he's going to have to sit around and he's not going to get the title shot, you would think, because he's already gotten it a bunch. So he's going to fight the next guy, right? And until he'll be the first one when Volk finally does lose the belt to get a shot that's not Volk, right? I mean, when that day happens, I have no clue. But, really, we've talked about it a bunch. Like, what could he do? Could he move somewhere? Could he go up to 55? And we've both said that's not a good idea. And 45 is the perfect weight class for him. And he's probably, of all the divisions in the UFC, without a shadow of a doubt, like, no division has a guy who is no number 2, basically the second champ, more than Max Holloway. Like, there's nobody else in the world better than him other than Volk, and it's that easy. And it seems like Whitaker used to be that guy until he just kind of got cooked. But it's tough. It's really a tough situation for Max Holloway to be in. He doesn't really have a path forward, and he's just going to have to wait to fight somebody. Maybe run a Ortega. Maybe run Ortega again. There's Ilya Taporia there, but it looks like he's going to be fighting for the title next. So if it wasn't maybe someone like that, other than that, it's really like what, Giga? We're going to get into that in a little bit.
Whatever. But
it sucks. Who knows what's next for him? And obviously with Korean Zombie, he retired after the fight, and he had a great career. Yeah, it was time. I was hoping maybe I'd see it and be like, oh no, he's still got some left. I mean, he still has some left. He could beat some of these, maybe lower half of the 45 rankings. He could beat them up. He could beat up an Alex Caceres probably, but it would be a much closer fight, and he would take much more damage than needs to be done. He had his title shot. He had a great career. Shout out to the Korean Zombie, and but good win for Max Holloway, man. It's just another example of why he is as good as he is. And how about Anthony Smith, man, with a razor-thin decision, a split decision that is, over Ryan Superman Spann. Watching this fight, I did not watch this live. I actually did fall asleep during this, but that was due to the fact that I was off pure exhaustion, and the coffees that I had drank at 6 in the morning probably wore out, and I was watching this in bed. And it just, I faded. I radically faded, man. And
so did Ryan Spann.
And Ryan Spann, listen, he took a lot of leg shots. I thought the scorecards were appropriate here. I thought it was 29-28. I thought it was pretty easy. I think he landed a lot of damage in that second round, that being Ryan Spann, but I don't think it was worthy of a 10-8. We kind of discussed that a little bit before we started recording, but it just it was an Anthony Smith kind of performance. He picked him apart from the outside. He got a takedown. I think that was in the first round, right? Had to be. I thought he looked really good in the first round, and his boxing looked crisp. He was kind of staying out of the danger zone, I guess you could say. And then in that second round, he got caught with that sort of looping left hook, and it kind of just hit him on the perfect spot, right? Like, I don't think he necessarily hurt him with his super power, but I mean, he obviously has power for you to hurt. So I mean, he probably broke his orbital. But it was just kind of
under the eye, above the eye.
Yep.
It was a mess.
Perfect shot, bruised him up bad. He could barely see out of that left eye, but that third round he came back and he kind of just willed his way to a victory. And, I mean, it's a great win for Anthony Smith to kind of keep on going. But I thought Ryan Spann really had an opportunity to get him out of there because when Anthony Smith gets hurt, he sometimes doesn't know what to do. He kind of like shells up and just takes the damage that's coming his way. And this one, I thought Spann kind of went for like a guillotine or something, so some sort of like grappling submission thing. And I know he laid down, but I would have liked to see him kind of posture up and start lowering some serious fucking hammers his way. And it just didn't kind of play out that way. It just, you know, and Ryan Spann is definitely tough, and he deserves his ranking and his number where he is. But just another kind of missed opportunity, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, he still can't check leg kicks. He still doesn't have a high fight IQ. Some of the things are still just going to persist for him. I think he's 32, 33. So like, I just think he is who he is, honestly, at this point.
Yeah.
Kind of like Kennedy Zachukwu. I think Kennedy might be a little younger, but you know, some guys just they reach their ceiling, and it's a lot lower than a lot of people think it could be. So I think Ryan Spann's definitely an example of that. But I mean, listen, Carl Roberson knocked him out in like 15 seconds. Was definitely the first red flag we saw. So can't be surprised anymore. He's got Saif Sayoud screaming at him to check a leg kick or throw one, and he doesn't either. So I can't feel bad for the guy at all.
And you could tell Anthony Smith was worried about them leg kicks coming into this. He came out in that Muay Thai stance to start the fight, and he was, you know, he kind of went away with it later on because I think he kind of realized, like, this guy's not going to throw any leg. Like, he doesn't like throwing leg kicks, and he kind of telegraphs the ones that he does throw because you saw Smith check like two of them. I think it was in the third, maybe like late second to early third, and I was just like I don't know, man. Like, Anthony Smith is a guy who's like, that's kind of like one of the knocks on him. He can't deal with those leg kicks, right? We've discussed that on here. He's gotten hammered with them before.
Yeah,
and
so
it didn't play a factor at all, man. Yeah, like you said, it's not a good sign for Ryan Spann. This I mean, as much as it is about the heart of Anthony Smith, and he looked great, and like I said, I gave all of his compliments. There is a story to be told about Ryan Spann kind of just being a little bit disappointing in a sense. So, how about Giga Chikadze coming back, a year and a half layoff, fighting Alex Caceres? He did not get that TKO. Didn't even really come all that close to it, to be honest. And apparently he broke Alex Caceres' forearm in the at some point in the first round. I think it was one of the first kicks he threw. Because Giga, you can tell, has some serious heat behind them kicks. The hands may not be there to kind of match it up, it seems, and he seems to be a little bit of a one-trick pony. And I think the fade is coming again. It's definitely on the horizon, but this was just a kind of a good matchup for him because you knew Caceres wasn't going to really threaten the takedown, and he was not going to be able to kind of outpoint him without getting seriously. I mean, when you're getting them kicks landed on you, whether you're blocking them or not, like Caceres showed, he's doing some damage with them. So it was a good win. Giga looked okay. It was a good win for him, but I didn't expect much from him. You know, once the fight started, I was like, oh, I'm not getting this TKO, and that was just a bad bet.
Very close. I was very disappointed. I think. I don't know. Caceres is okay. He's getting better. He's kind of a dog, but this whole fight took place at distance. Not really much of clinch work. Giga went to the legs pretty well, but so did Caceres. Caceres went to the body really well, but so did Giga. Like, this was pretty much dead even all across the board. They both landed 25 head strikes. Caceres landed 25 to Giga's 22 to the body. Giga's 18 to Caceres' 12 to the leg. Just very, 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 very close. Caceres lower percentage, but that's to be expected. You know, his striking, his all-around game is just average.
Yeah,
and he fought him pretty well. He got hit with the bigger shots, the better shots, and that's pretty much what lost in the fight. You know, Giga has more pop, more speed, more power, and just a better all-around kickboxing game. And he won a kickboxing match against Alex Caceres. So Bruce Leroy takes an L.
Yeah, and what was the scorecards? It was unanimous, right? Like, was it 30-27s or what was it?
It was 330-27s.
That's pretty crazy. And like you said, like it seemed like a close fight when watching it. Like,
yeah,
and I think the scorecard were appropriate because it just kind of, he did edge him out in seemingly every round. But it just kind of goes to show you how kind of close some of these fights can be, and these judges' decisions don't really dictate everything that you need to know. But how about Rinya Nakamura? This is a fight that I was kind of like, I don't know. I was not even disappointed. I mean, I had Nakamura for the TKO, but that seemed pretty apparent. He was not even looking for any sort of ground strike or anything in that department. He was strictly hunting arm submissions the entire fight. And one of the only guys I've seen kind of just go that north-south and just kind of put his nuts in his face the entire fight. And, I mean, he obviously was going to have the ground advantage here, but I was impressed. Fernie did not give up, man. He kept fighting, and I mean, Nakamura just, he looked good, but I don't know. He should have finished him, and I don't like to do that all the time because it's hard getting in there, and I don't know, man. Like, what was he doing though? It seemed like he is a guy who doesn't really know like a lot. Like it's not that he's bad at jiu-jitsu, but it just seemed like he's like it felt like me the first couple months that I was in jiu-jitsu class when I just kept going for Americanas and fucking like arm submissions because that's like the only thing I learned. It's like I don't understand why he wasn't at least maybe get that crucifix, maybe make him turn in, try to get his back. Like I don't know. It was kind of a one track mind when it came into this fight, and it just it results in not getting a finish because he never really even got close to, other than that one straight arm lock he had, but even that's hard to finish.
Yeah, he had some nice little elbows to the body that were bothering Fernie on the ground, but yeah, other than that, I mean, just another day at the office, I guess. He got a 30-26 on one judge's card, which I'm kind of confused about, but either way, he dominated. I think Fernie landed like 15 significant strikes in 15 minutes. Not great. Another safe side. Safe side dude he has his work cut out for him with a lot of these guys that he trains because they just don't listen. And some of them aren't that smart and aren't that talented. Honestly, not necessarily saying that about Fernie, but Fernie's kind of he just boxes. That's all he wants to do is just throw hands, not even legs, not even kicks or anything. Just hands, and that's not going to win you many fights in the UFC. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. It seemed it's two guys who were like one track minds, and the other guy was just more dominant in his department. It just, I don't know. Rinya's performance kind of left me wanting more, I guess. So I guess we'll see what he looks like when he gets out there. And I hate to do that on a guy who dominated, like you said, won a 30-26. But when you're fighting a guy like Fernie Garcia, like you said, who really doesn't have any wrestling or doesn't even want to do anything with that, if you can't finish him or even really get close to it, then. Like, I don't even think Fernie had, like, a cut on him after the fight. He was, like, kind of like, like, how many times did he have that crucifix? Yeah, I mean, he definitely probably should, but I don't know. I was like, what are we doing here? But maybe that's probably because I bet TKO. If I bet decision, I would have been like, wow, what a sound, smart performance by Rinya. But how about Aaron Blanchfield? This is a fight. This had its own video package and everything. The UFC knew this was a big one. I don't know why they buried it on this card. Natalia making her return to Singapore. It has not been good to her. She loses a unanimous decision to Aaron Blanchfield, who definitely lost the first round, I would say. But after that, she kind of just came on towards the later half of this fight, and she has a serious gas tank and just a relentless pace that she puts on these girls. And she hasn't had to use it necessarily, kind of bite down on that mouthpiece and work for her strikes and her grappling positions. But I will say, man, that second round, Talia Santos made a big mistake, kind of trying to go for her own little takedown and
that was dumb.
Trip. That was stupid. It's obvious.
Also, fight.
It did because she probably could have won that second round if she maybe gets off the fence and starts chipping her up a little bit. But you could tell she was starting to get a little tired. So I guess the decision making kind of starts to wane there. And Aaron Blanchfield, she as bad as her striking looked in the beginning of the fight because Talia was fresh. Towards the end, she started to land a little bit, right? So
good jab. She has a really good jab. I wish she would kind of like put more behind it, a nice 1-2. But no, she has a really good jab.
She doesn't really bend her legs either, which is a little bit weird when she's going around in there. But that's kind of
still working on things.
Yeah, you can tell she's not really comfortable striking yet. But I mean, what is she, 24 years old, and she's fighting.
And she's still gotten better. Like, we've seen it, from their debut. So, I mean, she was outstriking Andrade for parts of that. She didn't get a takedown in this fight, but had 8 minutes of control. So that's very telling that, her plan A still didn't work at all. And she was still able to efficiently win a fight, you know? Like, the other fighter might have made a mistake or two, but that's the game, man. That's the game. Aaron Blanchfield didn't make really many mistakes, So shout out to her for getting a hard-fought win. Again, wish this was a co-main or even a main event. just so we could see them go in 25 minutes, considering it's a title eliminator. But regardless, I think Erin Blanchfield's ready, and I can't wait, man. I can't wait. This is our girl, and I think she's going to be the champ sooner rather than later.
Do you think Mannion gets maybe if Mannion goes out there and knocks out Rose, then she gets a title shot? But I got to say, I would bet I would rather see Erin Blanchfield in there. I think I'm not even that. Not take that out. Just I think she's more worthy of getting that title shot next, as opposed to a Mannion Farrow who, although she's I don't know. I guess it all depends on what she does this weekend, really. I mean, if it's like it's a 3-round kind of real close razor decision, and I know Rose was the champion, but I don't know. It just I guess either one of them is worthy. But Erin Blanchfield, her next fight will be for the title, whether she waits for it or not. But she's there. We're here, man. We've willed this into existence. And what was her nickname that she has now? Cold Blooded. I don't know if she was that the whole time, but
I thought she might have been, but I'm
maybe.
not sure.
I don't know. When they said Cold Blooded, I got fired up. This felt like a big fight. I mean, would this go off at around like 9 o'clock around here? But this was probably even earlier than that. It felt like a big fight when they were walking out and everything.
When Joe Martinez is there, it's a big event. We know that.
We know that's not true. But how about
Buffer?
Yeah. Okay. How about what's my man that does the Canelo?
Oh, David Diamante.
Oh yeah, that's how you know.
Tequila, Chinchilla, Canelo.
Oh, I get fired.
I fucking love him. When he did that last fight was great.
And he's like Triple G. I'm like, okay, this is ass. And then he starts going in on Canelo. I'm like, that's why they brought this guy here. He just
Jalisco, Mexico, Canelo. He was just saying
Guadalajara de Mexico. You're like, whoa, all right, here we go, dude.
It's just like, who's hitting the volume on the remote? Oh no, he's just turning up on us.
He's getting fired up. But how about somebody getting fired? How about Junior Taffa, man? Listen, that Parker Porter, he needs to stay away from any Taffa family members or anything.
Any Kiwis.
Anybody that a large gentleman from the South Pacific he needs to stay away from, because he gets sent into the Shadow Realm again, this time 1 minute and 24 seconds into the fight. He acted like he was going to come in here and take them down, or I don't know what. I'm pretty sure, didn't Taffa slip or something at one point, or he gets pushed up against the fence and he's able to get back out to the center. And it seemed like every time he was hurting, or no, that's what it was. He knocked Parker Porter down, and then he tried to like follow him to the ground a little bit, and then he almost, Parker Porter woke up, but it seemed like every time Taffa touched his head, he was going back down, or his equilibrium gave out. So this was a easy win for the boys here. Round 1 TKO, our biggest hit of the day at plus 250, but
easy fucking work.
Yeah, this was easy.
This is not Braxton Smith, so we knew Parker Porter was cooked. Unfortunately, I kind of like him. I want to like him, but unfortunately for him, might be the end of the line.
And I don't know if it should be necessarily. I mean, he seems like the perfect if guys like Chase Sherman keep hanging around. Yeah, I mean, anybody apparently can take out Mr. Bresky, but yeah, I don't think I'm not done with him necessarily, Parker Porter. But yeah, it's not good when you're getting KO'd all the time in the first minute by Taffa brothers. So
yeah,
how about this, man? Waldo Cortez Acosta, he gets back on that finish mobile, the finish bus, not to be confused with the bang bus. He gets back on there.
Or the fake taxi.
Not to be confused with either one of those things, those well-respected, highly esteemed businesses. Lucas Bresky gets he turned into a like one of those puppets, man. Like that were walking around. You're trying to walk around on the floor, and their legs are moving all over the plate. He got hit hard, man, and then he gets hit with a couple shots to the back of the head as he's retreating into the corner, and then he goes head first, not even face first, head first into the ground, and he is donezo. Thank you for coming, sir. You have you have done your duty. Lucas Bresky gets knocked out cold by Waldo Cortez Acosta, and our decision bet did not go well. I should have known when I kind of knew when this guy was walking out that he was going to get put down, because they're like, he's a kickboxer. I was like, he's going to throw these leg kicks, piss off Cortez Acosta, and he's going to land some heat on him. But It just seemed like Cortez Acosta is he throws too hard. He's like a Jorgen De Castro build, but bigger.
Yeah,
like he just.
Yeah, I love his boxing, honestly. But after that, it's pretty much he just doesn't want to check a leg kick.
No,
kind of like
you
Ryan
said
Spanish.
that. I was like, oh man, like, and it was not looking good early on. I'm like, dude, I don't know how he won these other decisions. Like that's like I'm watching it and I'm like, why haven't these guys just spammed leg kicks at him? But
yeah, and that's what Bresky did. I mean, of his 14 strikes that landed, 10 of them were leg kicks. So that's pretty much what he wanted to do. And then he got his bell wrong. He started doing the Dougie. R.I.P. to Embo and NJR, members of Cali Swag Districts. Yeah, dude, he just
no, hold on, come on.
He just stood there.
You can't be shouting out members of the Cali Swag District when you're talking about
R.I.P. man, R.I.P.
Seriously, though, R.I.P. But my bad. Go ahead.
One was shot in the head, and one had sickle cell anemia.
Jesus.
Crazy.
All right, well,
I know. What are you gonna do? But yeah, he got hit and just like I don't even know. It was so goofy looking. And then Walter Cortez Acosta said, "Oh, you're not done, buddy. I got more for you." And I don't know if the punch to the back of the head is what won him the fight, but it definitely didn't help Mr. Bresky's life expectancy at all. That was pretty crazy.
I mean,
who reffed that fight? Let's see.
One of the randoms, I'm pretty sure. I can't find.
Where is it? Mark Craig. Yeah, he didn't give a fuck.
Not to be confused with Thomas San and Kevin Sataki, who they were.
Thomas
those guys
bro.
were working. Oh yeah, shout out to Tommy Fan.
Double N.
Yeah. Now listen, good win for Mr. Cortez, Mr. Acosta.
Yeah.
As
I will say,
Bisping
calls him Costa.
Yeah, Joe Martinez killed that intro. He kills the Latin American intros, man.
So good.
It's absolutely electric when he does them. But good win for him. Unfortunate, bad bet for the decision. I just thought this was going to be more of a snooze fest, and I was wrong. I know Cortez Acosta, he'll come out next time, and he will have a snooze fest, and I'll bet the inside the distance. So, But good win for him. How about Garrett Armfield? He put Kazama down a bunch, it seemed. Or at least Kazama, every time he got hit with a straight right, was like, whoa, like he had no idea what was going on.
Didn't like it.
This was a mismatch. This is one of those where the fight started, and you're like, okay, so how is he going to do this? Is he just going to win a decision? Is he going to knock him out? You didn't know, but you just knew this Kazama guy was overmatched, and good win for Garrett Armfield.
Yeah, he's one of the brawlers. He's one of those fighters who likes to be a brawler, but doesn't like to get hit. So not a good recipe for success at the UFC level. He probably shouldn't have got signed after Rinya Nakamura fucking rang his bell twice in the first 30 seconds,
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe we have one more chance to fade him. Maybe just one, but I think it could happen. So let's hope. I haven't seen him on the roster watch, but I also haven't looked at that account yet. So let's see. Is he on there? Did he get cut? No, he's good. He's got another fight in him.
Thank God.
Damn it, Tafana Chukwi cut. Damn it.
Oh yeah, well, as he should. He shouldn't be around. You know who else should be cut? Chidi Njoukani. So he gets taken out by Michael Olazechuk. Not early, but early in the fight. Later on in the first round, about 4:16 in. Chidi looked good for about the first minute, and he came out. He was throwing them body kicks. He's throwing leg kicks. He was throwing all sorts of kicks. But I don't know. And then he kept going for takedowns, which I didn't understand that at all whatsoever. Desperation. I think he was getting hit, and I think you've said this before about him in the past. He's just a guy who does not like to get hit at all. And he got hit a couple times, and you could tell he wanted nothing to do with this. That's why Olazechuk has that power. And it didn't seem like Njoukani really. At least in this fight, his hands did not look good. He was
only 7-21 to the head.
Yeah.
He was only throwing those body kicks that looked good, but Mikhail was blocking him a little bit, and he was just walking him down. Pretty much what I thought could happen, and I saw a lot of people thought that's what would happen. I just wasn't sure if Mikhail was going to take shots, but yeah, like you said, Chidi wasn't getting anything.
He was hurt
off,
at some
really.
point, right? I'm pretty sure he gets hit with a kick.
He did hurt. Yeah, no, you're right. He backed Mikhail up, because I remember I was looking at my phone when it happened, and then right after that, he hurt Chidi. It was kind of crazy, honestly. I feel like the under 1.5 was the play here, but what am I going to, what are we going to do?
What are you going to do? Yeah, I felt real stupid after this fight. I was just like, oh, man. Like, I don't know, though. I mean, he came out, and I would have been scared to death if I bet the other side and watched that first, minute and a half kind of. But once he shot that takedown, I literally was laughing in my room. I'm like, why? Like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, I get, like, sometimes you get hurt and, like, overwhelmed. You're just like, but, dude, that's not your thing, man. That is just I felt like he was doing good, though. I felt like he was, like, hurting him, and then he would, like, try to mix that in. It's like, dude, that ain't the move, bro. I don't care. Pretty much about anyone at 85, you should not be taken down because that's not your thing. You're going to gas out in the first 2 seconds of wrestling. It's just kind of how it goes. But how about Song?
3 in a row for Cheaty.
3 L's?
Yeah.
Maybe he should be cut.
Maybe give him a 4th one so we can fade him. I don't know.
I like that. Depends on who. Paulo Costa. All right. How about Song Kenan versus Rolando Bedoya? Song Kenan gets the unanimous decision victory over a Diaz lookalike in Rolando Bedoya, except he had the white hair. I'll say I think Paul Felder made a good point, and I was thinking it before he even said it, but then he said it, and I was like, damn, this man's smart. Bedoya should not be fighting at 70. He's not big enough to be at 170. He just seems like, when he's fighting a guy like Song Kenan, it just seemed like, even though he had the reach advantage, Song was just the bigger guy in stature and in weight. It doesn't seem like Rolando's cutting much to get to that. It just kind of seems like that's his like natural weight class kind of. Maybe he's cutting a little bit, but it felt like he just was overmatched in this. And if you're overmatched by Song Kenan, then it's going to be a long trek up the 85 or the 170 ranking. So Rolando Bedoya just kind of got worked over here.
Yeah, also looking like rocking the skinny fat bod. Not sure that's going to get you far. Song Kenan's kind of shredded. Honestly,
he is fucking shredded.
So man, the machine got to get back in the lab, I guess. Song Kenan dropped him. I believe he dropped him in the 3rd.
Yes.
Was it the 3rd that pretty much won him that round, I think, because it was kind of close. I think the 2nd round might have been the closest. I don't really remember too much, but it was a pretty good fight. Bedoya puts out a lot of volume, but the problem is, a lot of it's kind of
empty.
Very empty. He does mix it up well to the leg, to the body, to the head, but sometimes you want to headhunt a little bit more. Song Kenan headhunted him and knocked him down and won the fight. So
I think Bedoya won the first, right?
On. Yeah.
And then I think the second, like you said, was close, but the third, it just seemed like it's kind of tough to give a guy a fight when the other guy is coming on, like, at the end. It's like a tidal wave. Like, in that second round, it seemed like he was slowly starting to build, and then that third round, he was beating his ass. So I think the decision was right here, and no complaints from me whatsoever. How about Billy Goff? I know you are a big fan of Billy Goff after he won those CES belts. That was when we were there that night. You said this guy is going to be something special, man. And hey, he is because he hit a nasty body shot on Kinoshita and he dropped his ass and then finished him off with the ground and pound. Cashes out my money line. Cashes out any TKO bets that you had out there because it seemed like I didn't realize that was just the move. He's not going to probably win a decision. Submission. He just goes strictly for them KOs, and he's 9-2, ladies and gentlemen, and he has 7 KO victories. So I guess what sketched us out was those 2 decisions along the line. But
sketches me out was when he got fucking killed by Mr. Samatrisky on the Contender Series. But he's a junkyard dog. He just comes back, and man, that body shot was brutal.
Yeah,
brutal. Like Mr. Kinoshita didn't get up for a while after that. Also, hope we get another chance to fade Mr. Kinoshita in the future.
Hopefully. There's a lot of guys I'd like to keep fading, and we're going to have to learn a lot about... Hey, our next show, we're going to be talking about the UFC France, and we are going to have... You're going to be hearing some names you've never heard of, and you probably will never hear of again, because it's going to be a real wild, wild west making some money this upcoming weekend.
We got a Zucchini fighting from Italy, my cousin.
Hey!
Zucchini Capone. We can't wait for that. So, yeah, there's a lot of random. I'm going to have to really dig deep in the MMA core bag to find some film on these fighters. Or maybe they're not fighters. Maybe they're just, merchants of death. I don't know.
How about J.J. Aldrich? Absolutely dominating Liang. Nah. time is up for Liang. Nah, man. She is nah on her anytime she bets because I am not.
Yeah.
She stinks. Let's just go out and say that. I'm sorry.
The Dragon Girl, come on.
Dragon Girl stinks. And, I mean, she looked like okay, but she was fighting J.J. Aldrich, who's not that good either. So, and I always say, like, I'm sure that if J.J. Aldrich heard this, she'd be like, you're an idiot. I'd be like, you know, I'm like, yeah, you're good in comparison to probably regular women who fight. And me, and just a guy, right? But, like, in comparison to some of these other 25 girls I see, it's like, oh, this is a real somewhat low level when you're watching a Blanchfield and Talia Santos getting in there later, and it just seems like what would Erin Blanchfield do to J.J. Aldrich? That's the shit I think about. So it's hard for me to be like, wow, she looked great against Liang. Nah, but good win for her. I wish we would have fired that TKO.
Yeah, honestly, I wonder what inside the distance or TKO was. I feel like sub was probably been higher than TKO, but let's see when has she gotten any TKOs? No. She has no finishes in her UFC career. So, first finish for Mrs. JJ, don't call me Cole Aldrich. Pretty good win for her. Did she get 50K? I feel like she should have just because it was her first finish.
No.
She did not. Yeah, what are you going to do?
How about Sung Woo Choi, Sting, going out there, taking care of business against Jarno Aarons? They both dropped each other at certain points in this fight.
As customary in Choi's fights.
Yeah, this fight was entertaining. Choi looked really good, I'd say. He looked better than he has recently, but, I mean, he was fighting Jarno Aarons, so, good for him, but it just kind of, this fight started off the night, and I was just like, wow, like, okay, that was kind of, I don't want to say boring, but it's always tough to watch a decision to start the night. I would have liked these fights to be reversed and have J.J. Aldrich start off, because I probably would have had a higher opinion of it than I did with it not leading off. So I don't know.
The second round was nice. He got dropped and then he fucking like judo tossed Aarons.
Yeah,
that was cool. But yeah, like I kind of agree with you. So Jarno Aarons is just a weird fight. Like, he's big for 145, but like I don't really know what he's good at. You know, like I thought he was a wrestler, but he got out wrestled by a French kickboxer. So I thought it would be okay. Maybe he's a striker, and then he got outstruck by Choi, and then he got out wrestled by him too. So I was like, all right,
yeah. So like,
I don't really know what this guy's. Well, yeah. What are you going to do for me? Not much.
Yep. So good win for him. Fight of the night was Max Holloway. That is UFC Singapore, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Max Holloway and the Korean Zombie both get 50,000 for fight of the night. I guess maybe.
Sure. Why not?
Sure. Right. Junior Taffa gets 50,000 for his lights out performance.
Destruction.
Lights out of Parker Porter, and Mikhail Olazaychuk gets $50,000 for his knockout of Chidi Njoukani. But
was Waldo Cortez robbed? I think.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I think Cortez Acosta, for the way he sent Brzezinski down, he should have got 50K. But
maybe he said because he hit him in the back of the head, we're not going to give him 50K. Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah, for almost breaking his neck and killing him. I guess they probably decided they shouldn't reward that kind of behavior. But how about, did you see, I mean, you obviously probably checked in on the Usyk fight and him.
Yeah.
A lot of argument online whether that punch was low and did he fake it and all this stuff. And he's given a full breakdown at the press conference and everything. It just, none of it was good, man.
Yeah, and then Dubois after the fight congratulating him, and at the very end of his tweet saying, "But I want a rematch. That wasn't low." Yeah, I mean it was low. It was. I mean, people were going to send still shot pictures and post them. That doesn't tell the whole story. I'm sorry. You know, you have to show me the video. You can get hit low, and who got kicked low, but he also got kicked in the ribs. And Joe Rogan was like, I don't think that's low. Meanwhile, his heel
that's right,
connected with his balls, but his toe is connected with his ribs. So you can get hit low and also not get hit low at the same time. You know what I mean? Like it can connect to two different parts of your abdomen. And usually when boxers are given instructions, Jared Anderson, the same night when he fought on ESPN, the referee before the fight said, if it's on the belt line, it is considered low. That is what the rules are, and that's what every ref is supposed to say. Maybe the ref didn't in this fight. I don't know. I didn't really pay attention to much of it. It was on during the day when I was working. But yeah, I did check in, and other than that, I thought Usyk looked a little sluggish early, and then picked it up and was able to make him quit. Dubois has quit before against Joe Joyce. a couple of years ago. He's still only 25, which is crazy. I feel like Dubois has kind of been around for a while. And then he wants a rematch, so that's always fun. I don't think we need to see a rematch. He got doubled up on punches. He got quadrupled up on jabs. So he made a decent account for himself for sure. But I don't think we need a rematch or anything.
What did you think of the Prince who was promised taking an L this weekend, Nico Ali Walsh?
Yeah, he had OnlyFans on his shorts, and he was minus 2,000.
There you go.
And he lost.
That is all I needed to know was that, and I would have faded him.
So that was brutal. Also on this, where was this, in Poland, right? This Usyk Dubois card. Actually, yeah, in the third bout of the main card, right before the co-main, Anthony Yigit, I should say. I'm sorry, the Swedish fella who fought Keyshawn Davis, Roland Romero, Ivan Baranchyk. He lost to a fellow named Dennis Baranchyk, who was pretty solid. I think he's undefeated from the Ukraine. He lost a decision, and then after the fight, he says there's no doctors on site that could stitch up a cut.
Well, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with the Queensberry Promotions, the very shady, sketchy Alexander Usyk promoters.
Yeah.
I think he just signed with a Saudi Arabian company.
Well, there you go.
And there's like 95 fights on this entire card, which is crazy. And yeah, Anthony Yigit said there's nobody on site. He asked a couple of doctors to help stitch up the cut, and they're like, yeah, we don't know how to. So obviously, I don't know what kind of doctors they were. Maybe Dr. Johnny Sins.
Maybe, and I don't know if that's even customary if they do that in the back, or I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I don't know anything about that, but it seems weird that you wouldn't have somebody that could at least be like, hey, let me patch this up for you a little bit.
By the way, a Ukrainian and a Brit fighting in Poland, weird things are going to happen.
You did say that before. You're like, I don't know why these guys are fighting in Poland, but yeah, that's happening. How about? You did mention a low strike that you thought that people were saying. I think you're talking about the Jake Matthews fight. When he hit that dude Darius Flowers, because I was looked it up while you were talking.
I was like, no, he's fine. That wasn't loud. I'm like, dude.
And you see the kick literally land like on his sack,
right on
upwards.
His cup.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Joe, maybe lay off the fucking proper 12.
Whoever's drinking that, God bless. But is that all we missed pretty much? I mean, we got Contender Series tomorrow.
Can't wait for that.
Anything I should be gambling on, or anything we like here? I don't really know much about.
That's a good question, actually. Well, Matteo Vogel is going to be on this card. He fought Blackshear to a decision, and he beat Gary Armfield a couple years ago. I think he's a sub guy. I'm going to see if he's the favorite. He's fighting Timothy Kuamba. Is there a line?
He is the favorite.
Okay, I like him there. I'm trying to maybe see about Mitch Ramirez. He's pretty solid. He's undefeated. He's fighting a guy who's 16-6, so I'm like...
He's the underdog here.
Mr. Mitch's?
Yes.
Okay.
The fight stalker.
I don't know about that one. I'm trying to remember where I remember him from, but I could have him confused with somebody else. Val Woodburn was supposed to be on this card. Your boy. He was supposed to fight Marco Tulio Silva. Now it's going to be Yusri Belgarui, babyface assassin. He's a big boy. Jeez. I think he has a kickboxing win over Alex Pereira, the guy that's now that's taking Val Woodburn's spot in K1 or wherever they fought. He is the favorite.
Did you see that Carlos Paredes has a win over Charles Oliveira, but not that Charles Oliveira?
All right. Charles Cipriano Oliveira.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like the other one, but
doesn't have exactly that same resume as the other guy, but I mean, he's got the same name.
Charles Oliveira, nonetheless. Can't take that back. Can't take that from him. But I'm gonna do some tape study tonight of this card, and then get back to you. How about that?
How about that, ladies and gentlemen? There's a lot of the thing is that's why we don't give Contender Series picks out, because I am not going to hold against you record against guys who you can only find fights from recorded on iPhone 6s. And you're like, okay, well, it looks like he's got pretty good boxing. And then you see him on these 1080p cameras, and you're like, whoa, boy. This guy does. like your boy last week. What was his name? Robbie Ring?
Robbie Ring, baby. Yeah. As soon as I heard his mom, come on, Robbie, kick him. I was like, yeah, he's losing this fucking fight.
Yeah.
Ain't no shot. This guy knows what he's doing. And yeah, that's what happened.
They wound up playing
the The main event should be good. Dylan Salvador, he is I believe, a French kickboxer. He his only loss was to Ali Zebian, who's pretty good, who beat, or has a loss, I'm saying, to Mr. Vyacheslav Borshev. So solid. It looks like they're getting solid main events. I think the other guy that's in the main event, I forget his name.
Balaji Oki?
Okay. Yeah. He is, I think he's from Belgium.
Yeah, he looks like a murderer.
He's a pretty yoked fella. He lost his debut, but ever since then he's been on a tear. Fighting pretty, I think, weak, but better-ish competition. I think he beat an undefeated fellow recently. So,
oh, wow. Yeah, he did
Zulu
lose to
Warrior.
Sebastian DeFranco. Other than that, he's...
Yeah, my cuz. But yeah, so it should be a pretty good, honestly, a pretty decent card. I have the night off. I'm drafting, and then I got Contender Series. I like Contender Series. I don't love how they signed everybody. I think last week they only signed 2 or 3, which is... We'll take that. You know? Also, I really wish that developmental deals were like a thing. Like, if you sign somebody, they can still fight in whatever the fuck, FC. You know? Like, I wish that was kind of a thing, but I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. But anyway, I think I might be parlaying Mr. Mateo Vogel and Mr. Mitch Ramirez, but I'm also not sure. Mitch Ramirez is a big underdog. Maybe there's a reason for that. Also, actually, here's, just not to ramble, I'm in this Discord full of a bunch of degenerates that bet, and this one guy says every week I'm just going to put money on every single underdog. And honestly, it works. He profits every week. So that is something to keep an eye on, because last week I think the favorite was the biggest underdog. The main event was the biggest underdog, and he was like plus 400, and he won. So, you know, you're going to get a couple of ones that hit and a couple of ones that don't, but as long as you hit 2 or 3 underdogs, I think you're probably going to make money. So, you know, if you have a couple units or half units to throw in this card, might be something to try.
See, we're sitting here like trying to figure this out, and could you imagine how these poor people in Vegas are thinking? They're like, God damn, like I have no idea. Like, how are you supposed to know what Mitch Ramirez is going to do on Tuesday night? You know,
you don't.
How's he going to feel? Like, you know, there's not much you can base it off of. And same thing with Thomas Peterson.
Yeah, not to be confused. Hey, Thomas Peterson, that's an Eagles fan that was insufferable. Remember him, Thomas Peterson?
Yeah, he's still out there. I blocked him, I think.
Yeah, so for this kind of card, you kind of got to bet with like the vibes. Like, who trains with their mom and dad? Him? I'm betting against him. You shit like that, you know.
He was the favorite. How did Vegas see that and go, I don't know, guys. We should probably.
Also, Robbie Ring name test. That's about a D. You know, I hate to bring the name test into the UFC, but sometimes it might be warranted.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's all we got here from the Shoulder Strikes.
I think that is all we got.
MMA podcast. Yeah, I've gave everything I got. We have a full episode coming up this weekend. We have a bunch of fights, so we don't know how good the event itself is going to be, but we have a UFC coming from Paris. Cyril Gane, Sergey Spivak. I'm actually excited about that main event. Not so much the rest of the card. There's probably 3 good fights. Other than that, it's kind of just names.
Yeah, we have some boxing, not much, but a rematch. Liam Smith, Chris Eubank Jr.
That should be good.
Chris Eubank Jr. got fucking shelled the first time in the 4th round, and he said, "You know what? I want a rematch." And he said, Liam Smith said, "Sure, why not? I can't beat Canelo, so I might as well beat you."
Exactly. And I would do the same thing if I were him. Why not?
Why not?
You got a Bosharok getting in there this weekend too, but
that should be good. I think Clayton, right?
Against Clayton. That should be a great fight. It really should be.
That will be a good one. We'll have the under. Just a hint.
How about that? So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast. My name is Matt McSweeney.
Ty Capone, coming to you live from the hurricane shelter. Everybody stay safe out there.
And as always, ladies and gentlemen, please listen to your local authorities.
You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.